Kuns in Vermaak met Marianah Lourens. Yes, art and entertainment with Marianah Lourens. I have an amazing group of people because not only are they either artists or supportive mums, spouses, aunts, uncles, grannies, whatever. They are also great friends of mine because we do church together. I just thought, well, we've just had Christmas and it was an amazing highlight of the year. So let's have a little bit of a chat here with my old friends. Some of them I've known for over 30 years, I think, yes. And I am going to start with you, Pete. This is Pete Gombard. Because when I asked him about the arts that he's been involved in, he said, yes, I actually did a lot till the war interrupted me. So tell us about that.
Well, I come from an art family, quite involved in art. I used art a lot to escape when I was a young person. And I used to sit in my bedroom and draw a lot. And we ended up doing the Guello show where we won an award for the best artistic work. But unfortunately, the army came and I got involved in the war. By the time the war was finished with me, I was shaking and shivering and from old age. And I'd lost a lot of the love I had for art.
Now, for some people don't know what that war was. You'll have to explain to us because it didn't really affect us here in South Africa, in RSA. It affected you.
Exactly. I was in two wars actually, in the Rhodesian War, Rhodesian-Zimbabwe War, in Special Forces, and then when we were booted out the end by Mugabe, we came down to the South African Army, and I was involved in the South African Army in Special Forces again. So I ended up doing 20 years, and after things changed.
But you did your share for art, because if you even won an award, what a loss for us. Think about that. I'm going next to Cecelia. And Cecelia Adams is here because she is a very supportive mom. Plus, she supports most of us here. She's always encouraging. So Cecelia, what do you want to say about the arts? And maybe you've even done some drawing or something in your day.
Well, Marianah, I am not artistic at all. My family members, I do have like my niece, she is very good when it comes to drawing. Support my children in whatever it is that they do, but none of them draws or anything like that.
Yeah, but they sang in choirs, stuff, school.
Church choirs and school plays. Yes.
I know about the school plays.
Yes.
Because I know your boys.
Play, especially playing, yes. He was involved in Toastmasters, Covenants in sports. He used to play first team cricket for Western High School. Also represented his school in hockey and played tennis as well.
Blaine, of course, I also know because he was in my Toastmaster team. And what about you, Rose? You are looking at me with big eyes.
I love writing, mostly poems that come through the Holy Spirit at the time. When the Spirit flows, I just write. That is my precious gift of art that I've received from God. I have written 3 books. They have been registered. They have international numbers that I can use to have them published, but I haven't gotten that far. Only America was interested, but was rather expensive. So basically, I'm just waiting and to see what will happen.
So we can say watch the space, because when you publish those books, we're going to talk about it.
For sure.
Absolutely. And Carol?
My love of the arts started as a young girl because my mom took me to many plays and ballets, and so I enjoyed that. And then when I married and had 2 girls, they both did dancing. The one, Robin, proceeded all the way to the top of the ballet thing and qualified as a teacher. The other one diverted and started with Irish dancing. So I've had a lot of experience watching ballets and dancing and such like.
Wonderful. Irish dancing. We love Irish dancing, don't we? I think I heard quite a few Yeah. So you're a very supportive mom and family member.
I had to.
You had to be. Now, Jean is sitting next to me. Now, I always say she's my beautiful older friend because she's a bit older than me and I hardly ever meet anyone older than me. But she's far more beautiful and younger looking. But you have really watched the arts around you, because you've had performing children in creative arts and crafts and drawing and dancing. James isn't here today, unfortunately, because he's your grandson.
No question about it. I have had all of those. I would say for me, myself, my passion has always been colour. I have always, right from the very beginning, loved colour. I did have a work where I helped ladies colour coding their dress. I love colour in flowers. I'm inclined to put all the reds together and then oranges together because they don't match. Variety of colour. I love colour in my lounge. I love colour in vases. And as far as my ability to draw, well, I actually can't even draw a stick man. And when I think of my children, I don't think any of them either can draw a stick man. Anyway, it's the colour that is, for me, my passion.
But your grandchildren, I know that
Jonathan
does the most amazing art.
Yeah. My grandchildren have somehow taken after me in a weird way, seeing I cannot draw, but they have taken after me because they can draw very, very well. So it is funny how God moves in miraculous ways by blessing me with no artistic ability. However, blessing my grandchildren with incredible ability. So I take all credit for that.
She takes all the credit because the one is a filmmaker, and the other one can draw beautifully. The other one can dance.
Yeah,
they are just talented, and they've got the support is grand.
They're very talented, my grandchildren.
I think you've said enough about that now. Thank you so much, Jean.
Okay.
And here on my left, I have Jean's son and his wife is Megan. Now, Megan happens to be the most amazing creative person. She's been so involved in crafts that people have just admired and loved and made jewelry and all that stuff. So say, Megan.
Thank you, Marianah. Yeah, my life has always been creative from as long as I can remember. I think I was 3 when I started dancing. I was about 5 when I learned how to crochet. And one thing I've never been able to do very successfully is knit, but I can do all kinds of seam work. I have made jewelry. I love to garden. I love to cook and to bake.
And you can crochet?
I can crochet. I can do things with my hands. And I feel it's a part of my creativity as a part of my worship to God.
Yes,
I feel like it is a representation of who He is as a creator God working through me.
Yes.
And so it's just giving Him glory back with that gifting. And I love it. I love being able to get an image in my mind of how something can look and then try and make that happen.
And of course, God created the arts.
Absolutely.
And then now we get to Dave, and he's looking at us with eyes because he's in real life, he's a preacher, but he has been with Meg. She didn't mention that, but they've been in shows together, like musicals and performing art. And I think maybe James gets his dancing skill from the two of you because you have danced in shows, in musicals. So come on, Dave, tell us.
Marianah, many years ago, when I was at school, I sang a little bit. I was a part of a choir. I was at an all-boys school, and we had a very good choir, which I sang in. I did HMS Pinafore when I was at school. I was a junior at school at the time, so it was a high school, and all the boys in the first 2 years played the female parts because our voices hadn't broken yet, so we could sing high, and all the older boys in the school played the male parts, so I was a female part, which is very strange for me. And then I went farming, and I was living in Zimbabwe at the time, and I got involved with a community of people who did some plays. So I did a few different performances and plays. Megan was involved. We got married around about that time, and Megan was involved in choreographing. We did Grease, and we did a few shows Annie Get Your Gun.
It's a wonderful show. We did it here as well.
Very wonderful.
It was wonderful, yes. And of course, that's where James gets his dancing because he does ball.
James gets his dancing from Megan. and not me.
No, but I mean from Megan, because she was a Corrie teacher.
James
And
does
now-
ballroom dancing, and so most of my arts now are enjoyed and expressed through our children. And it's interesting because sometimes your children take you into spaces you perhaps wouldn't ordinarily go. And so I wouldn't have pictured myself spending evenings at ballroom dancing competitions, and certainly wouldn't have expected enjoying them, but I do. We go to them often, and I have learned to appreciate them. I even watch Strictly Come Dancing every now and then, Marianah, if there's no good rugby on at the time.
Thank you, Dave. We get to Ygerne. Now, Ygerne, that's a very interesting name because your name starts with a Y.
Yes.
And it's
Very creative.
very, just to begin with, your parents were very creative, or was it the language? Just tell us about yourself, because she is an artist. She paints on what? On canvas?
Okay. My medium that I developed, I was very blessed in that I had a mum and I had a brother who were very good at art. So I was drawing right from when I was small, and I loved to colour in my books and all that kind of thing. Yes, I've been painting all my life, drawing, and my medium is watercolour, but not watercolour like people know with a wash. It's actually, I'm going to be quite basic here. My watercolour, I use spit paint with that, and then on top of that I put pastels. I love to create what God has made, and so I'm a perfectionist artist. My specialty I like to do is old faces, and I like to do eyes. To me, if you capture the eyes of people or of animals, then you've captured the soul. So I've got 3 paintings hanging up in our lounge. The one is, I don't know if people will remember, from Afghanistan, the refugee that was on the National Geographic, and those startling greeny blue eyes. By God's grace, I managed to capture that. And so wherever you go, she watches you. And the other painting I've done is a huge one of a lioness, and she sits there staring at you. And again, by God's grace, I managed to capture her so that wherever you go, she watches you. And if you sit there long enough, you can see her tail wag and her lips. She licks her lips.
Well, you can see you on what art is your Facebook art page called?
It used to be called African Portraits.
African Portraits. Just
Yeah,
go to
but
African Portraits, but they're there. There's some of them there.
They are.
They're still
on
there. That
Facebook.
Facebook page is still going.
Yes.
So you can go and look at the old art there. But next to her is her husband, and his name is Clive. And Clive, you don't paint, but you sing.
Yeah, I used to sing, but at my age, I've been losing my voice, unfortunately, and so it's not what it was. But I started singing at the age of 9 in the parish church choir, and spent my youth in England up until 24, when I left and came to Rhodesia. What took me to Rhodesia was I'd met somebody from Rhodesia in my youth, and we got very fond of each other. But her parents didn't like me too much, and so took her back to Rhodesia, and I followed her out and fell in love with the country. So there we are. That's how I got here. Been singing since I was 9 until a couple of years ago, and that involved me conducting choirs and being in many different performances. So I've really enjoyed my life as a singer.
Wow. And of course then you went to rescue Ygerne from whatever, or maybe she rescued you.
I think there's a bit of both, actually.
You rescued both. That's a great story, both of you. We've got a few minutes left. Rudy, your thoughts, your experiences with art, artists, whatever?
I'm not very good as an artist, but I have enjoyed colouring in the adult stress kit booklets that are a myriad of different types of pictures that you colour in, and it's supposed to wear away all your stress. So that I enjoy. What I do have an art in is my survival. I wasn't supposed to die at birth. I got Sturgis Weber syndrome. They thought I was only going to live for 3 months, but I've survived for 54 years. I've now got one eye, and I've got one leg and a couple of cracked ribs. But otherwise, I've survived all my other bumps and bruises.
You're a survivor.
I'm a survivor.
And he encourages all of us on every level. Just quickly tell them where you live.
I live at the Aurora Special Care Centre. It's a wonderful place. It's a multi-needs centre that caters for adults and children of mentally and physically challenged.
And so that's his story, and he is just such an encouragement to every artist he meets as well, because we've got some in our church that aren't here today. Fabulous. Thank you, Rudy. And now we're with Xayrn. Now Xayrn I've known since he was a little boy, and I know his older brothers, and they are artistic. Now, what do you, because I know you work with your hands, Xayrn.
Yes, I'm actually a panel beater. I work there by Dinner. It was very nice. I enjoy it. And actually, I used to dance when I was very young. Even though I wasn't good at it, I still went. Yeah, it was very nice for me. Even though I also can't draw, like just stick me and like also, I really can't.
You really can't. But I know that dancing, if you enjoy it, then you can actually do it. It just takes practice. I'm going to ask you all quickly. We're going to go around. I'm starting with you, Xayrn. Then we go the other way around, because we're on the threshold of a new year of 2024. Because we've had Christmas yesterday. It was lovely. Just one sentence of your hopes for 2024.
2024, I actually want to do my driving test. I want to get that finished. I still have lots of plans for 2024. I just go with the flow. But the thing what I want to do the most is my driving test.
So we will be praying for you.
And also get a car. And I'll get a car.
That's a prayer request, guys.
My mother, maybe, is the champion. We all dream.
And now, Rudy, your thoughts on 2024?
I don't have many plans or wishes, except I wish I could lose a couple of more kilos so I can cruise and career all over the place in my wheelchair more often.
I joined the gang about that weight loss. We're all with you. Some of us are skinny, like Clive.
Yes.
Just your New Year wishes.
Yeah, we've been in Port Elizabeth for 2 years now, and we came down to Port Elizabeth because our grandchildren are living here. We're about to get a third grandchild. It's on its way. So just to enjoy our family is our plans for next year.
Enjoying the grandchildren, but now you all are, of course, in Tabega.
Yes. Yeah. How's that?
Ygerne?
I haven't really thought much about 2024, but I'm in the process of writing a book about my life, because I had a very, very interesting, colourful life. I used to be a hippie and got up to all sorts of hippie things. I think I'd just like to share that in the way the Lord has worked in my life in amazing ways and changed me. And also I'd like to write stories for my grandchildren. That's what I desire to do.
I'm going to write stories, so watch this space. Dave?
I'm looking forward to supporting my son and my sons, two of whom are involved, one in the filmmaking industry and the other with dancing. I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to watching. I have a third son who has a number of entrepreneurial ventures with the arts that we're looking to support and celebrate. And so I'm looking forward to seeing some breakthroughs in some of those areas. Yeah.
And be supportive parents. Is that not so? Yeah.
Correct.
Meg? We're moving into a new home and a new lifestyle. I'm looking forward to converting the house that we're moving into a happy and peaceful home.
That's a wonderful, amazing prayer.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes. Thank you, Meg. And Jean?
I have no doubt about what my wish is for next year. I have got many grandchildren who don't know the Lord, and my greatest desire is to lead them to the Lord. That is without doubt what my purpose is whilst I'm on this earth.
Thank you, Jean.
So I have nothing else other than that.
That is the most important for us, to bring those that have not yet chosen Jesus to choose Him. Carol?
I have a lot of changes coming up in this coming year and a lot of uncertainty, but as David was preaching about Paul and how God had his whole life in his hands and he orchestrated all the moves, and I know that the Lord will open doors, that wherever any of us happen to be, the Lord will be with us.
Thanks, Carol. Rose?
Mine is short and sweet. Just peace and happiness. All those I love, and I know that is all I want. I think that's essential. Be happy.
Nice.
Thank you. And Cecelia?
There's a saying that says if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. But that is definitely not the way I live my life. I never plan too far ahead. I'm more of a go with the flow type of person, but I can relate with June because just the other day I sat at home and I thought, you know what, there's people near and dear to me who doesn't know the Lord. And I've been praying a lot about that because I would also like them to get to know the Lord. Also, my son, just to be more supportive of him as well.
And all of them, of course. We
all of them more for the
need each other's encouragement. Now, what I want to say is it's my birthday today.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Marianah. Happy birthday to you.
And now we're out of time, over time, so it's time for Marianah Lourens and Art and Entertainment to say goodbye. Ja, Marianah Lourens wat nou groet met geseënde nuwe jaar en arrivederci.